Well, when you and I connected, I think one of the things that really sticks out to me with your personality and kind of your outlook on education and honestly the world is you're very, and maybe I'm making an assumption, just kind of basically what I'm seeing on social media is you really are looking for the good in everybody. I think that's something that really connects with me, and I will be honest with you. I try to, but it's something I have to be very intentional about because I can find bad stuff real easily. Do you know what I mean? Like it's something I have to train my brain to. And there is a book that it's funny because I could not really tell you much about the book. And it was like I read the first couple of chapters. I'm like, okay, I'm good. This is all I need from this book. And it was a Malcolm Gladwell book, and it was about David and Goliath. And
Yeah.
one of the things that really stuck to me was basically the premise of David and Goliath is David is the underdog and Goliath, and that's why it's such a good story. But then he's like, actually, David was quite nimble. He was good with a slingshot. So what have people have historically looked at as a deficit has actually been a strength. And
Mhm.
it actually started kind of waking me up that I'm a very fast talker, and people bring this up all the time. Do you know where fast talkers, and it is like I have been diagnosed with ADHD, and you know where fast talkers really excel? In front of teachers who don't have much of attention span. And like, I get it all the time. Like, your pace, I love your pace because I got to keep up. And one of the things that he said in the book, and I'm just kind of sharing this from memory, is basically a lot of CEOs are have dyslexia. And
Mhm.
the reason why there's a correlation is that a lot of people with dyslexia have to have a very finite attention to detail, which is a beneficial, a strategy for a CEO. And so, how do you kind of like, I know that I'm not saying like, hey, kids hitting people, like, what's the good in that? I'm not saying that at all. It
Yeah.
is, how do you kind of like shift some of the thinking yourself to kind of look for the strength in what many might perceive as the deficit? Because I think there is some power there.
Oh my gosh, that is the power, right? And you're right. It's not easy. I mean, there are days where I'm like, oh my gosh,
You're not
this
just
isn't
like me.
well, right. Like sometimes my instant thought is at times when someone comes to me, this isn't even a problem. Like, why do we even think this is a problem? But on my team that I work on now, one of the women I work with is so great at saying to me, Michelle, like the things that you think and say naturally that come to you, that's not anyone else. So I need you to peel back. Like I need you to peel back and come back to thinking that what you're thinking and seeing is not the perception that a lot of other people have about, say, this behavior or this situation. So part of it is just how you're wired, right? It is. I just choose to think that there's good in motion, and I will say, sometimes just really bad things happen and there's no good. I don't try to say if something tragic happens, there's this good sunny outline happening. There's not. It's bad. And as we move forward, we can try to do better and find better ways to move forward, right? Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could give you like this magical wand answer. I'd be a bajillionaire if I could. But when I look at children and I see what's happening in classrooms, what I do know is they're telling us something and they need to learn something. And the teachers around us, teachers often feel like they're not successful, which brings out shame or difficulty or blame instead of us like just switching the script and saying, hey, I'm going to flip the script on this and I'm going to talk about like, what do you think this child needs to learn?